In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, dear friend and fellows in Pakistan and abroad. Edward de Bono is a Canadian. He works for the multinational. Sometimes he is hired by the government of a country. Sometimes he is hired by the UNO. He wrote many books upon the thinking, the process of thinking. Edward de Bono is the has devised, discovered, invented lateral thinking. Lateral thinking was already in practice, but without knowing that what type of thinking it is actually. So I am going to tell you one thing which I learned from the books of Edward de Bono. It is about the process of thinking. And here Edward de Bono says that whatever you look upon, and you need to know actually what it is or how it is. Now, don't jump to the conclusion here that whatever things come to in my mind first is going to be the right sort of explanation, the right sort of thing. Rather, we need to generate many of the possible explanations. Some of the explanations we have enlisted might seem very absurd, maybe because our information is very limited about what has happened or what is happening. Our informations are very limited. So for that reason, we might be in a hurry to jump to a conclusion that this is the possible explanation, this is what has happened, or this is what is happening, or this is what might have happened, etc., etc. So we are not giving a careful consideration. We are not giving a careful consideration actually to this thing. So here we need to do one thing, and this one thing is that we need to be very patient. We need to be very cool about, you know we need to be very patient and very cool, and we should always be waiting for even a better explanation or even another explanation, not to call it a better one from the very beginning. Rather, we should always be ready for another explanation of the possible reason behind what has happened, behind what is happening, who is possibly responsible for it. We must keep our options open and must not lock our mind at all, because this is the first step, and the first step of the thinking process. And if at all we are in a hurry, if at all we are in a haste to reach a conclusion that this is what has happened, and who is responsible, what type of people involved, and all the different actually aspects of it. Now what we need to do here is, the next step of it is that we need to we need to we need to generate many options which could be the which could be needed by me, or which are going to be the right steps I do have to take. As for the first thing is concerned, as for the first step is concerned, and that first step, that keep your mind open. As for the possible explanations are concerned, we have to keep our mind open from this aspect for all the time. We don't have to close it. If at all we do close it, what is going to happen then, that our right sort of thinking will just stop, will come to a halt, and we will not be able to properly move forward. And if at all we do move forward, our movement to move forward will be just an erroneous and just an erratic one. It's not going to be the right one at all, dear friends and fellows. And the next step is to generate the possible solution. Here too we need to keep our mind open. There could be several possible solutions. And now, as for these possible solutions are concerned, we do need to enlist many of the possible solutions, and not just one. If at all, also Also, we shouldn't be in a hurry, in a haste to decide that this is the best option. We shouldn't be in a hurry. The reason behind that, if at all there is a bad option today, we might come to another piece of information, and due to which we do have to consider it as the best option instead of the worst option. And if at all another option which is considered the best option, we might get a kind of a kind of new information which would be telling us that this is not the best option, rather this is the worst option. So for all these reasons, actually, for all these reasons, we do have to keep our mind open. As for the first step is concerned, of the first step of understanding something, and as for the second step is concerned, which is called the possible solution, and now the final step, which one is the best option, which one is the best option for me to be taken as a decision. I think this is the thinking process which I have taken from the books of from a book of Edward de Bono. Edward de Bono is a famous thinker. The whole of the world knows him, and you might be considering it as a sort of regimentation of the thinking. We don't need to do it, but we need to be aware of the thinking process. On the one hand, we need to be very careful and very cautious, and if at all there is something complicated, and then this is how we need to proceed while we are found thinking about something which is complicated. When it will help us a lot, inshallah, because it is being it has been devised, and it has been propagated by somebody who is a world recognized person, and maybe the first of its kind in the whole of the world. As I earlier said, that the lateral thinking, he was already in practice, but the people didn't know. Even the relevant people didn't know that what category of this thinking is, and how to somehow define it, and how to put it into a regular use. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.